The bus rattled down Elm Street, its fluorescent lights humming. The night was quiet, save for the occasional rustle of leaves and the distant hum of city life. The bus, a sanctuary of sorts, moved steadily through the dimly lit streets, its passengers lost in their own worlds. Rachel lost in a book, barely noticed. She was engrossed in the pages, the story transporting her far away from the mundane reality of the bus ride. The characters in her book were her companions, their adventures more real to her than the fluorescent-lit bus she sat in. It wasn't until the last passenger disembarked, leaving her alone, that she saw it. The bus had emptied out, the silence now palpable. Rachel looked up from her book, her eyes adjusting to the emptiness around her. It was then that she noticed the object on the seat across the aisle. A sleek black phone lay forgotten on the adjacent seat. It seemed out of place, a modern artifact in the otherwise drab setting of the bus. The phone's design was elegant, its surface smooth and unblemished. Its screen was dark, reflecting the streetlights like a watchful eye. The phone seemed to hold secrets, its blank screen a canvas for untold stories. The streetlights outside flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced on the phone's surface. Curiosity piqued. Rachel reached out and picked it up. Her fingers brushed against the cold metal and she felt a strange connection to the device. It was as if the phone had been waiting for her, calling out silently from its forgotten place. The metal was cold against her skin, sending an unexpected shiver down her spine. The sensation was startling, a jolt that brought her fully into the moment. She held the phone gingerly as if it were a fragile relic. Briefly, she considered leaving it untouched, but something drew her in. There was an inexplicable pull, a curiosity that she couldn't shake. The phone seemed to whisper to her, urging her to uncover its secrets. Maybe it was the sleek design or the air of mystery the phone seemed to exude. It was unlike any phone she had seen before, its design both modern and timeless. The phone felt important, as if it held the key to something significant. Whatever it was, Rachel found herself slipping the phone into her purse, a sense of unease settling in the pit of her stomach. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was the beginning of something unexpected, a twist in the narrative of her otherwise ordinary life. The bus continued its journey, but for Rachel, the night had taken a turn into the unknown. Later that evening, nestled in the comfort of her apartment, Rachel felt a sense of peace. The soft glow of the lamps bathed the room in a warm, inviting light. She had just finished a long day at work and was looking forward to unwinding. The gentle hum of the city outside was a comforting backdrop to her quiet evening. As she settled into her favorite chair, Rachel remembered the phone. She had almost forgotten about it amidst the chaos of her day. With a sigh, she reached into her purse and retrieved it, the device feeling oddly heavy in her hand. She wondered who might have called or texted her, its smooth surface now strangely warm, as if it had been waiting for her touch. Unlocking the screen proved surprisingly easy, her fingers moving almost automatically. A single notification blinked back at her, one new voicemail. Her curiosity piqued, she pressed play. The voice that greeted her was distorted, raspy and low. "You shouldn't have that," it hissed, the words dripping with malice. The words were heavy with unspoken menace, sending a shiver down her spine. Rachel's blood ran cold. It was a threat delivered with chilling calmness. This was no wrong number. Someone knew she had the phone, and they weren't happy about it. Her mind raced with questions. Who was this person? How did they know she had the phone? And what did they want from her? The cozy warmth of her apartment now felt like a distant memory, replaced by a growing sense of dread. Rachel knew she had to find out more, but the fear of what she might uncover was almost paralyzing. Days turned into a nerve-wracking game of cat and mouse. Rachel noticed a dark sedan parked across from her apartment, its windows tinted black, concealing the occupant within. Was it her imagination, or was someone inside watching her every move? She tried to shake off the paranoia, but the feeling persisted. Her once familiar walks to the coffee shop became a test of her courage. Each corner she turned, every shadow that stretched across her path, sent her pulse racing. She felt hunted, the prey in a twisted game she didn't understand. Desperate for reassurance, Rachel confided in her brother Jack. Skeptical at first, he listened intently as she recounted the chilling voicemail and the unsettling feeling of being watched. Seeing the genuine fear in his sister's eyes, Jack knew he couldn't dismiss it. He insisted on staying at her apartment, promising to get to the bottom of it. Together they searched the phone for clues, hoping to uncover the owner's identity and the reason behind the menacing message. But the phone remained stubbornly silent, its secrets locked away. The crash of shattering glass sliced through the night. Rachel jolted awake, heart pounding. A shadowy figure, silhouetted against the moonlit window, scrambled through the broken frame. "Jack!" she screamed, her voice raw with terror. The intruder moved with chilling swiftness, his face obscured by the darkness. Before Jack could react, the intruder lunged, tackling him to the ground. A struggle ensued, the sounds of their desperate fight echoing in the small apartment. Fear propelled Rachel into action. Grabbing the phone, she scrambled back, her finger hovering over the emergency call button. Adrenaline surged through Rachel as she watched the terrifying scene unfold. Jack, despite being caught off guard, fought back with fierce determination. The intruder, however, was relentless. He slammed Jack against the wall, a sickening thud reverberating through the room. "Leave him alone!" Rachel screamed, her voice trembling but resolute. The intruder paused, his head turning towards her, a low growl escaping his lips. For a fleeting moment their eyes met, hers wide with terror, his cold and calculating. The sound of sirens pierced the night, growing closer with every passing second. The intruder froze, his attention momentarily broken. It was the opportunity they needed. Jack, seizing the moment, landed a powerful blow, sending the intruder reeling back. The intruder, realizing his escape was blocked, scrambled back towards the shattered window. He hesitated for a moment, his gaze fixed on Rachel, a silent promise lingering in the air. Then, with a final, chilling smirk, he disappeared into the night. Relief washed over Rachel as the police swarmed the apartment, their presence a beacon of safety in the aftermath of the terrifying ordeal. As she recounted the events to a weary officer, her gaze drifted towards the window, the shattered glass a stark reminder of the intruder's violence. It was then she noticed it, a faint glint of light reflecting off the building across the street. It was gone as quickly as it appeared, but Rachel knew what she had seen. Someone had been watching. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The passage of time did little to dull the sharp edges of Rachel's memories. Each day felt like a relentless march, a constant reminder of the night that changed everything. The memory of that night was a haunting presence in Rachel's life. It was as if the events replayed in her mind on an endless loop, each detail etched into her consciousness. The fear, the confusion, the sense of violation, it all lingered, refusing to fade. The police investigation yielded no leads, no clues, no answers. Detectives pored over evidence, interviewed witnesses, and followed every possible lead, but it was as if the intruder had vanished into thin air. The frustration was palpable, a heavy cloud that hung over the entire department. The intruder vanishing without a trace left everyone on edge. The empty streets at night seemed more menacing, the abandoned houses more sinister, and every shadow held the potential for danger. The sense of unease was inescapable. Despite the increased security measures Jack insisted upon, Rachel couldn't find peace. Jack had installed the latest home security system, complete with cameras and alarms, but it did little to ease her mind. The fortress they built around their home felt more like a prison. Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that she was still being watched. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the leaves outside sent her heart racing. She found herself constantly looking over her shoulder, her paranoia growing with each passing day. It was in the reflection of a shop window that she first saw it. A fleeting shadow, a figure that disappeared as quickly as it appeared. It was enough to send chills down her spine, a stark reminder that she was never truly alone. The fleeting shadow in her rearview mirror became a recurring nightmare. Every time she drove, she couldn't help but glance back, half expecting to see someone lurking in the darkness. The fear was suffocating, a constant companion on her journeys. The unnerving feeling of eyes on her back was something she couldn't escape. Whether she was walking down a crowded street or sitting alone in her home, the sensation was always there, gnawing at her sanity. It was as if the intruder had left an invisible mark on her, a curse that followed her everywhere. The phone, now safely locked away in a police evidence bag, held the key to the mystery. It was the only piece of tangible evidence they had, a lifeline to the truth. But despite their best efforts, the secrets it held remained just out of reach. Detectives examined the phone meticulously, hoping to uncover something, anything that could lead them to the intruder. They analyzed every call, every message, every piece of data. But it was as if the phone was mocking them with its silence. The phone's secrets remained elusive, a puzzle with missing pieces. The frustration grew with each passing day, the sense of helplessness becoming more pronounced. It was a race against time, and they were losing. The stalker was still out there, lurking in the shadows. A constant reminder that Rachel's ordeal was far from over. Every dark alleyway, every silhouette in the distance was a potential threat. The fear was omnipresent, a shadow that loomed over her life. Rachel's ordeal was far from over. The sense of being hunted, of being watched, was a constant in her life. It was a nightmare she couldn't wake up from, a reality she couldn't escape. The fear was her new normal, and there was no end in sight.